Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to sit back and watch this amazing panel as we discuss the entire Mission Impossible franchise. In the meantime, sit back and try to relax as we now prepare you for the ultimate Mission Impossible stream. This intro will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Simple game. Is he serious?
Always.
I don't quite know where to begin.
It's much worse than you think.
Abort, that's an order.
They knew we were coming. Do you read me?
I can understand you're very upset.
You've never seen me very upset.
These guys are trained to be ghosts. Let's not waste time chasing after him. Let's make him come to us. Find something that's personally important to him and you squeeze.
You have a wife, a girlfriend? Whoever she is, I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna hurt her. And then I'm gonna kill you right in front of her.
You'll never get what you want! You don't think I'll do it?
We've never met before, right?
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
Oh my God!
Ethan, this mission of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
The world is changing.
It's been a long time, Van. None of our lives can matter more than this mission.
I don't accept that.
Well, this is not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible.
Right.
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
How about that, y'all? Little high octane intro.
That was awesome.
Y'all, this is it. This is what it's all about. We're going tonight. Big discussion of Ethan Hunt and his team from Mission Impossible. I had to whip that up to get everybody in a frenzy. I hope that fired you guys up. It was like tried to pick like all kinds of cool, iconic moments from every single film and pop it in there just to get everybody jazzed up. How's everybody feeling?
Great.
Great.
Nice.
Mission ready.
Right. And out there to the audience, we're gonna just be rolling along tonight. We got some topics at hand we're gonna talk about. Just to keep the ball rolling, we'll pop in real quick just to see who's there with us. But you guys feel free to play along, answer if I ask them questions. Let us know what you think in the comments as well. And before we get started, let's just go to the chats and see who's with us tonight. Adrian James, of course, #1 in the hot seat. What's up, bud? Excelsior, like he's in 2 places at once. How does he do it? I don't know. Collected Movie Man, bueno, mancha. How are you, sir? You are here, my man. Huck, did you end up reading my review of Final Reckoning? Not yet, but we shall get to it. I was lucky to get that video made. I was up late, like it's 11:30. My wife was like, are you coming to bed yet? I'm like, no, I got 2 more shots of Ethan. Hold on. Yep, there you go. Let's go. Let's see. Hey, Kelly, welcome back. Let's go. Jane, what's up? Nikki is here, bringing some joy. Craig, Mr. Moody. Hello, sir. Oh, Huck and all the Huckaroos. You guys are some official Huckaroos tonight. Welcome to the Huckaroo channel. Jeff, yeah, it's going to be awesome here. Saw it yesterday. Long movie. I love that that's your instant reaction. Saw it yesterday. Long movie.
Put it on the poster.
Get into that. Holland. Yes, I know, right? Dun, 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 dun. There you go. Do-do-do. Wilkie. Dun, dun. Anybody? There we go. Tiana's here. Hello, darling. Anybody else? I think we're just getting some haze in. Hello, hello, hey. And there you go. All right, guys. That is our audience. Thank you for being here tonight. Hey. This, of course, is, let's bring up the banners. Boom! Our Mission Impossible franchise discussion. Literally made these a few minutes ago. Hopefully there's no spelling errors. Don't hold it against me. But there you go. So I think we're just going to kind of jump into this. Here's the thing. You guys are a crafty little bunch, and I'm sure everybody knows who you are. Let's just run around the horn and just say who you are and the name of your channel, starting with this guy right here next to me. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Steve from Excelsior Movie Reviews. I'm on YouTube and Instagram and also on a Letterboxd and all the same names. So, but as far as, well, I'll get into the discussion. Like, we'll go to Mike and see.
Yep. We're just quick little intros. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, Mega Mike the Movie Man. Find me places where I'll find you.
I like that. He's in character already. Jeff.
John Doe Juggalo everywhere that I can be. That is what I am.
I love the shortcuts you guys take. Nate, make it shorter.
All right. I'm Nate.
Damn!
Geeks and Flicks on YouTube. Nate Flicks Movie Reviews on Instagram.
Love it. All right, y'all. Let us go ahead and jump into literally. This is it. This is the main topic. The final movie. Well, perhaps the final movie. The final reckoning. Thoughts on the new movie. Steve, let's just start with you. What was your take, man? What was your overall vibe when you walked out of the theater?
So I enjoyed it. I liked Dead Reckoning Part 1 a little bit more, but I did like this. It had a lot of memorable moments in this movie. And I actually saw it on Friday and saw it again on Monday. So I usually see these movies like maybe 3 times in the theater. I'll probably see it again at least once this coming weekend to take my nephew to see it with probably my stepdad. So I want to see it again. I enjoy these. This one, everything except for part 2. I think I give them like B+ to A+. I mean, I think it's still good. Like I said, it is like 2 hours and 50 minutes. Probably didn't need to be that long. It would have been better if it would have been cut down maybe 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It just, but it's not my favorite. I did a ranking in my channel, and so you'll see. I didn't do recency bias on it. I didn't, but I think, like I said, all these movies are like B+ to A+. So it's hard to really rank them. And even this one's like pretty low on my ranking, but it could move up possibly. But there's so many others ahead of it that are so great that it's hard for this movie to top those movies. That's what I thought.
Awesome. I guess I'll jump in right now. So yes,
jump in.
I like this one. This one was awesome. I thought it was better than part 1. So I did like part 2 a little bit more. Still not top tier Mission Impossible for me. I've kind of put it mid tier, but I really like the acting in here. The stunts, the action was incredible. Yes, way too long of a movie. Just like part 1 was way too long. They could have cut this movie down by like 30, 45 minutes. That being said, I did not take one single break. So it at least had enough action to keep my attention throughout the whole movie. So I'll give it that. But I did go to an awesome theater experience, big fan event, opening day. So the vibe in the theater was fantastic. But major issue with the movie, and I know Huck talked about this on the morning show, the villain sucked. Terrible villain. Worst villain out of all the Mission Impossible movies. The plot was still kind of confusing and convoluted. I mean, they try to catch us up as best as possible with connecting it to part 1. But too ambitious for a plot, I will say. But I did like how it celebrated a lot of the other movies, so I will give it that. With what it had to work with, I think it did the best job it probably could.
Well said. Well said. I will get onto that when it rolls around to me. Jeff?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. There was a couple things I didn't like. Obviously, the length is something that nobody really likes. It's a little bit long in the tooth. Might actually be why they dropped the part 1, part 2, because it's kind of too long to be one whole movie. They would be over 5 hours. But with that being said, I only got up to get more popcorn because I was just so engrossed in the movie that I was eating it so quick, that I was so intense. It had some of the best stunts out of the whole series. Like if this ends up being the last one, they did save some of the best for last. And it's just amazing what Tom Cruise can still do.
Yeah.
Right.
There was some character things they did that I didn't like. But I think maybe we'll get into that later. So.
All right. And Nate, what'd you think?
Yeah. Okay. So when I walked out of the theater, I also went to this fan event thing. Literally all it was no trailers, and then the movie started.
So you got no trailers.
Got
Mine
no trailers.
was falsely advertised. It said no trailers, and we got at least 45 minutes of trailers in.
45 minutes.
Okay, so you were there for 4 hours.
Riot.
Yeah, we had no trailers. Like the movie just started. Went to the big IMAX, the real huge one. When I walked out, I think I liked it a little more than when I sat with it a little bit. On the positive side, I think some of the most suspenseful set pieces of any of the franchise, to be honest with you, the submarine and the airplane, amazing. Like edge of your seat type action scenes. Loved it. I like the way they wrapped up, Ethan Hunt's character. It's too long, but my main issue was that all the dialogue is exposition. Pretty much everything. All they do is explain stuff for 2 hours and 50 minutes. That hurt it for me because I love these characters and there's not a ton of great character interaction. There's little hints, especially in the third act, but for the most part, Ethan's off, not with them all the time, and then they're just explaining things, scientific things, and it's the script is maybe one of the worst out of all of them. I don't think it's a horrible movie, but that kind of hurt it for me.
Okay, so I love what you guys have all said, and I'm going to dive into some specifics, and I'll welcome some discussion because you guys are really tapping into some good stuff there. Yes, Mike and Nate, look, this is the worst villain of all the movies. I think this franchise is replete with excellent bad guys that really mean something going up against Ethan Hunt. And even the first one, and I also, like you, I prefer Dead Reckoning more than this one. I think it's a fine, if it is a conclusion, it's a fine conclusion. I think it could have been better. I think if it was I don't know, almost so we have the character that is Phelps's son, right? There's an interesting character, right? This is literally John Voight's son from the first movie. How about that is your hook? That's where this film comes full circle. It's a revenge movie with this guy going after Hunt. It means something, even though he needs to know the big picture. Even Ethan Hunt tells him, well, you weren't there. You don't know what happened. That could have been part of something. That would have been something to think we could all feel and connect to, rather than this guy who's got a hard on for an AI robot that tells him to do this and do that, but I'm going to control him so I can control everybody. And I'm like, what? Mike, you said, it's what is happening? This is too ambitious. Why is this a plot point? It's the main bad guy isn't even human. So the sidekick to him is really Gabriel. Gabriel's really the sidekick, and his aloof quality that he kind of comes and goes. He appears, he just reappears. I mean, what is this? Why is his character just gone and then suddenly waiting at the quarry for how is that? Ethan is busting his butt to figure out where everything is and everywhere is, and he just seems to know already. And I don't know. It's Gabriel was just a matter of convenience in every moment rather than just a great, I don't know, like Kirk and Khan, right? Khan, Kirk, you know, you want to see that kind of like rivalry in the final movie. That said, the stunts are spectacular. That wing, I don't even know how he could breathe. I was finding myself suffocating in the submarine, like that. The things I was just like, oh, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the energy is like some of you guys were saying. For me, I went to IMAX. I wanted to see this as big and as bold and as beautiful as possible because I was giddy. I haven't felt like this since like Avengers Endgame and Top Gun Maverick. Like I had that kind of excitement going to those movies. Like I wanted to be early, even though my seat is reserved, you know, like that's the excitement. I was like, oh, come on, Tom, let's go. Let's wrap this up. So it was a good spectacle. The trailer started and people were like, ooh, you can feel the energy in the audience. So I will say it was the right audience to see it with. It was electric. It was fun. So yeah. I am happy if this is the last one. Although I can't wait till we get into other discussions with the other movies.
But just to add on to, I was going to say, just to add on to what you said too, like the villain being an AI, not a spoiler really, because that was from even the last movie as well.
Was Dead Reckoning. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It felt two things. It felt like a Terminator movie. Like, okay, these people clearly saw Terminator because this is like Skynet, but in Mission Impossible. It's going to take over. It's going to take over all the missiles. It's going to launch the missiles. It's like very similar. And the other thing that I didn't love is like, it's a MacGuffin movie, which can work, but this was like a MacGuffin for another MacGuffin for like a third MacGuffin. You know what I mean? Like they had to get this thing, but also put it in a thing and then also put that other thing in a computer and then get the thing out. You know, it's like, I didn't love that because you're right, Huck. This is a movie where Ethan Hunt has gone toe to toe with evil men. And now there is one, but I mean, he's kind of lame. It feels kind of lame. He's not, I didn't even remember his name until you said it. So,
Gabriel.
Yeah, I don't really love him either. So I'm right on board with you.
Is it S.A. Morales? Is that how you pronounce his first name? S.A.? It's E-S-A-I.
Yeah, Isaias Morales.
Yeah, he's from La Bamba. I like that character. I like him more than the Doug Ray Scott from Mission Impossible 2. That Scottish actor that no one can understand. Mm-hmm. I didn't like him all that much in the second one. And I like the one from Ghost Protocol, except he's not really in the movie a lot either. He's supposed to be the 190 IQ, you know, this brilliant guy. And then the way that ends is just it's kind of terrible, but I like Ghost Protocol a lot. But to me, I didn't think Gabriel was that bad necessarily, but he is kind of cartoonish though, for sure. He kind of pops in and out, and he's kind of the foil to the whole thing.
Well, and he was even doing the diabolical bad guy laugh when Tom was on the plane. He's like, ah!
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Are we actually having a villain laugh?
I forgot about that. No. If he had a mustache, he'd be twirling it. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. How about all of our supporting characters? How about Benji? And we got Ving Rhames in there. We got Haley Atwell coming in, taking over for the lovely Rebecca Ferguson. How do we like our supporting cast?
I love Haley in this. She's fantastic. I mean, the whole team kind of works together to get this thing together, to trap the entity and the whole thing. And Simon Pegg gets stabbed or whatever, shot, and the whole thing where they've got to poke a hole and just get him breathing again, and the way he's passing out. Love all that stuff.
Yeah, trying to coach her while passing out at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, the road one.
And I had to sort of refresh myself that Ving has been there since day one. He was there all the way back in the first movie, and of course Simon Pegg joined him in part 3.
Right.
Yeah, and then Rebecca, I think, was the movie after that.
She came in.
Yeah, Luther is just as much of a main character as Ethan, in my opinion.
Right.
Oh yeah.
There's certain things in the series that would have never happened without Luther.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like all of them. Like Benji helps him get out of the building and scale it, and Luther's literally this is kind of his movie too. Like without Luther, this movie doesn't continue. And when you guys see it, you'll know what we're talking about.
I like the side
So,
characters. I really liked the scene with Benji and Paris. She was Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Palm.
I love Palm.
I liked there at the end when she had to like do surgery pretty much. She was like, because she was a bad guy and now she's working with them.
Yeah.
And she seemed like genuinely like didn't want to kill him, was like, and I kind of like that scene a lot between them.
Yeah.
I like Haley Atwell, but she's no Rebecca Ferguson at all in this franchise. Like she's okay. And is it just me or this movie has like a weird it seems like it should be a love interest, but it seems like Ethan's like, no, never.
It's funny. I know exactly what you're saying. We were kind of waiting for like a big kiss moment that never really the big kiss we can't tell. We can't give away.
No, without spoiling it, it's not really a kiss.
This was.
Yeah.
But it is sort of like it's too soon, Ethan. Rebecca Ferguson's gone. Yeah, it's too soon. I don't know, I guess. I know exactly what you're saying. Maybe
it's like a will they, won't they, but not really. It's more like a they won't because Ethan's kind of weird, but it seems like she's down, And like I never got that vibe with what's her name? Ilsa? Wasn't that the name of Rebecca Ferguson's character?
Yeah.
They seem like not romantic, just working together. Even like Paula Patton in Part 4. Like there was never that. But these two, it seemed like they were setting up that it was romantic. And then it's like almost, but then it's not really. It was weird. I can't put my finger on it, but I was like, what are they? And then the way it ends is like, well, guess not. You know what I mean? Like maybe I misread that. I don't know.
Well, and let's touch on, since we did the supporting cast, a little bit on the guy who sort of was the conductor here, Christopher McQuarrie, the director. I think has a really good flair for the astronomical. Like this guy really puts together sequences. I mean, he himself must think, Tom, I cannot put you in a scene like this. I'm going to watch you disintegrate if we do this. And Tom's like, let's go for it. Yeah, and somehow, with all safety precautions, in place, they get through these insane stunts, and Tom's okay and lives to promote the movie. So, well, what's your take on Chris? Has he done a good job?
He's done a great job. Yeah, I love his last 4 movies. He did 4 in a row, and I think he did a great job. But did you think that when Tom was outside of the submarine, didn't that look CGI, or it looked like he was? That didn't look real to me for some reason. I wonder if that's one thing that they wouldn't let him do underwater. Do that thing. It looked kind of.
He can only go so deep before he will be humanly crushed.
Yeah.
So
you can't kill a lead actor and producer.
Probably a little CG, but it didn't bother me. I mean, I was watching it on IMAX, and I was never pulled out. In fact, when he got out of it, I'm like, oh, for the love of God! When he gets, we won't give too much away. When he gets out of the sub, and more. That's another thing I will say is sometimes too much happens to Tom. Like, I think that's why the runtime is so long. I'm like, can we not have 3 things fall on him? Can we just have 1 thing fall on him?
The warhead,
you only get caught once instead of twice. You know what I mean? Like the stunts are great, but sometimes they double onto themselves a little too many times. So. Like I caught that watching Fallout. Like he was climbing up the rope, and right as he's on the wheels, he slips, and he falls all the way down to the bottom of the net. I'm like, oh God, because he just has to crawl back up again, and then he's there. So we really didn't need it because he was able to crawl back up anyway. Jeff, Mike, what do you think?
Jeff,
hello, testing. Is this on?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he's been doing really good, like kind of holding it all together. It's kind of crazy because I went and rewatched all of the other films before I went to see the new one, and I didn't watch Dead Reckoning 2 years ago when it came out. I waited to watch Dead Reckoning until this last weekend, right before I went into the Final Reckoning. Wow. And my daughter sat and watched some of them with me, and she kept saying, wow, this is really good CGI, that green screen looks good. And I kept telling her, no, the thing about these movies is he's really doing this stuff. And it blew her mind at like 11 years old. She's like, he's hanging off the side of this plane. He's hanging from this. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's really happening. And they just seem to get more and more intense in these last 4. So I think the director's done really good about keeping that intensity and making you wonder how much of it could be faked when none of it really is.
Mike?
Yeah, the stunts, the action, that's why you go see Mission Impossible movies. You want to see this old guy do some crazy stuff, and he's doing it. I mean, come on, that Tom Cruise, how old is he now? Like 60
He's
something?
in his 60s. He's in his 60s, yeah.
He's doing amazing with these stunts. So that's why I see these movies. I'm like, the supporting cast, whatever about them. I just want to see some impossible action scenes. And a lot of these action scenes were really impossible. You didn't believe, like, hey, is this actually going to be survivable? And it always happens. He just by a little bit, they always complete the mission. So I love that. So I don't think we needed part 1 after seeing part 2 because the exposition covered part 1. So I'm like, almost delete part 1. I would completely change how part 2 was done. I would have made it a 2-hour movie, simplified the plot, get rid of that Gabriel person, just make a whole new villain, get rid of the whole arching plot of the AI. I don't know. I would have completely changed it around. So the directing, at least the action, the stunt stuff, acting's fine, but for the plot premise, just too ambitious by the end. We need to bring it back to like 4, 5, 6 level. Like, don't get more wilder than that. These last 2 got too wild.
Yeah, I feel like it always gets a little touch and go when you bring a computer in as your foil. You know, computers and the internet and things like that. Even though we live that every day, I don't think people care. They don't want to hear about computers in a movie unless it's like you're just like Benji's using the computer to get something done. But
I will say the new
Fish is funny. Fish is saying, Fish just wants to point out there is absolute chemistry and a little sexual. I gotta agree with Fish. I think it is there.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I think they have great chemistry. Where I'll push back is there's a difference between sexual chemistry because 2 people are very attractive and they're playing that like cat and mouse, and what Haley Atwell and his character had in these movies, which was not that. It was not like a I want to rip your clothes off type thing. It was like these 2 are going to like run off and get married and have babies and retire. And I don't think that was the case with Ilsa and Ethan. So I'm not saying that they didn't have great chemistry. I'm just saying I didn't get like true romantic vibes between them. They're just attractive, and yeah, they could have boned, but that doesn't mean that that's more Bond than anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Bond, yes.
Bond bone.
That's the extended cut there, Nate. All right, extended cut for that one.
That's the extended cut. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. With that note, Nate. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next topic, which was excellent. Here we go. We're gonna talk about memorable moments from the franchise itself, and I think we've tapped pretty good on the latest movie. But if there is something specific in the last one you want to talk about, cool. But you've got 7 other movies that you're welcome to bring up. And Jeff, let's start with you.
I actually really dig a lot of the stunts in Mission Impossible 2.
Ooh,
they're so crazy, but I'm a John Woo fan. So like it just does all the right things. As a John Woo movie, you just gotta forget that it's a Mission Impossible movie sometimes. But I love the stunt work in it, and all the bike moves and all that. That's always something that's very memorable, and I think it's memorable for the wrong things nowadays. It's kind of memorable because it's what everybody makes fun of when they try to poke fun at the franchise. But going back and rewatching them basically back to back to back, there's a lot of really good stunts in that movie. It's just there's not a lot of good story that kind of holds them all together.
Yeah,
and a lot of good pacing because it starts off and he's climbing the mountainside too. So, like, for me, I still kind of feel like stunt-wise, there's a lot of things in part 2 that just never really kind of get topped in certain ways. But it's just so hard to look back at that movie because there's so much just not quite right with it. When you look at the rest of the franchise, it does kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But I love the stunt work in that one.
Yeah, mostly an action movie. That's what John Woo's known for, doing action. And the story is not really as important. Kind of not memorable for me, and like I said, I don't like the villain part 2.
No,
Doug Ray Scott. I just don't like I don't like his heavy Scottish accent, and then later he did. I mentioned on my channel Batwoman later on, and his English is much better in that. And like it just wasn't. They should have dubbed his voice in that movie because he looks great as a villain in that movie, but just it's hard to understand him with that Scottish accent. So thick. It's hard to understand that accent.
Steve, we have to thank Doug Ray Scott and Mission Impossible 2,
Right.
though, because if he wasn't tied up doing this, we wouldn't get. Go ahead, Nate.
You would have been Wolverine.
You would have been
X-Men, and
Wolverine.
You really would have been
not have
upset.
had Hugh Jackman.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
well,
Hugh
lucky.
Jackman stepped in because Doug Ray Scott was still shooting.
He would have been like, "This Wolverine got a thick Scottish accent, and I don't know what he's saying."
Especially from
So I
Canada.
don't blame you. Keep that MI2 up there, Jeff. That's good. No, I know what you're saying about the stunts, though. They're very they're just so visual. It's a fun movie to look at. And you know, you say it stands out, but it's kind of like in a good way because it is a John Woo movie. It's not like a bad Bond movie. Like if you get, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna say Beautiful Kill because I kind of have guilty pleasure with that. One, but, you know, pick the word. Well, but I like Moonraker too. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know,
Thunderball.
Yeah,
right.
the Golden Gun.
There are definitely some low key Bond movies that just don't hit. But I feel
Yeah.
like every Mission Impossible movie hits, even if 2 is just a little off. It still hits.
Yeah.
Even
I would
this
agree.
last one. Even this last one being a little off with that bad guy still has enough to love. Who else?
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh, so as far as one of my favorite moments, that's the topic. I mean, I think of Mission Impossible 3. I love that opening scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's like his wife is tied up. You know, Ethan's wife is tied up, and he's going to shoot her. He gives a 10-second or gives a count of 10, and then the gun goes off, and then they go back. And then they come back later, come back to that scene again with about 40 minutes left in the movie, and you find out what happens there. I thought very suspenseful scene. And I talked about on my channel, like J.J. Abrams. I'm not a big fan of his movies necessarily. I like Star Wars and like the first Star Trek, but I thought he did a great job in that movie. I thought his Bad Robot production company did like a lot of the other movies. I had like 2 or 3 after that one. But he only directed that one. I think Brad Bird did Ghost Protocol, the 4th one, but Bad Robot was the production company for all those. So you know, but I love that scene though. I think it's very suspenseful, and I liked Philip Seymour Hoffman as the villain.
Yeah, I think 3 is a fantastic film.
Yeah, I'll go. So favorite memorable moments, and if I can just touch base real quick because I like it, Huck. Keep it moving. But as far as the director thing, I kind of liked that the first 4 all had different directors. I wish they would have kept doing that because they all feel different. Like you had Brian De Palma, one of the best.
Yeah.
You had John Woo, one of the best in action. You had J.J. Abrams, a young up and comer. You had Brad Bird doing his first live action movie. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of liked because the last 4 do feel like they're made by the same guy.
Yeah.
And those first 4 are also wild as far as memorable. And this movie has flashback. I mean, Mission Impossible with him coming down in that room with the on the rope, and he's like right before he hits the floor. It was like they still show that in clips and stuff to this day. You can't do a Mission Impossible like a compilation or a discussion without that kind of popping in. And a personal moment for me, because I like Steve Part 3, and I don't know why this sticks out. I'm probably the only person on earth, but I hated when I saw it in the theater. It creeped me out.
No.
Is when Carrie Russell's in the helicopter.
No!
Yes.
You took my thing, you
I'll
son
let
of
you
a
finish it, but it bothered me. I'll let you finish it. I'll let you explain it, but it bothered me when
Yes.
I saw that at the theater. I was like, because that movie came out when I was like 18 or 19, and I was like, what is this? It was the first one I saw in the theater. So I'll let Huck talk more about it, but that scene sticks out of my
Look,
head.
I'll just go ahead and do mine since you literally teed that up. And let me tell you why that was so great, because I love Carrie Russell. I thought Felicity was such a cute show. And the fact that J.J. Abrams, worked with her, before and all that. And the fact that she and it opened with her and she was kicking ass. I'm like, oh, Carrie, right? I mean, the girl was fit. She was ready to go. I didn't know she was going to be a part of this movie. And he gets her in there. And I mean, it's like a ticking time bomb. He's got her. He's waiting. Oh my God. He's just waiting. And he's seconds away from the defibrillator kicking in. And the thing is,
And the way she
And then
looks
her-
is like it
And
sticks
then,
in
and
your
then her
head
eyes go
after
white, and I was like, "Oh!" Like I literally yelled, "No!" Right? But that's when I knew this movie and this franchise is unpredictable because you just expect Tom Cruise is going to save Kerry Russell, and they're going to be in this movie together, and then it was over. I was like, "Damn!" And
while that's happening,
stuck with me.
the helicopters are like flying all
Oh
crazy.
my
Like
God.
it's such a great scene. But her
It's
face
so good,
afterward,
yeah.
it was like it'll stick with you a little bit if you.
Oh, it does. It's super sad, but it does. And like of all 8 movies, it's like we're talking about it. It's probably one of the most, without teeing anything away that happens in new movies, that one really sticks with you. Oh, nice pick, man. Mike?
Man, I wish I could be original, but I'm with you guys on number 3. 3 is my favorite
Yeah.
by far. I never
Yeah.
hear anybody say anything good about 3, so I'm happy
love
everybody
3.
likes 3
Oh,
here.
3 is
I mean,
fantastic.
the wife getting into the action at the end blew me away. So I remember that. Philip Seymour Hoffman, best villain out of all the MI movies, hands down. He just kind of has that Joker personality to how he speaks. So really love that one. And just the look of the film, it's a J.J. Abrams kind of style movie. So I love it.
Yep.
Besides that one, I will go with, when Henry Cavill shows up in number 6. He was a great villain. I love the helicopter scene. I love all of that moment because that's where you're like, oh my gosh, is he actually going to make it and complete this mission? It is so thrilling. So yeah, Cavill is great. You know what? They should have, have Cavill come back, Philip Seymour Hoffman come back. They be the villains in the last
I
movie.
know.
That would have been the way to do it.
Before I rewatched some of these, Mike, I was thinking, oh, wouldn't they be great if Cavill came back? And then I rewatched Fallout. I'm like, oh, there is no way Cavill's coming
Hey,
back.
they're doing AI and robots. Make him a cyborg. Like, let's have fun.
Philip Seymour Hoffman would have to be CGI because he passed away.
Forgot about the hook in the
It really
face.
does.
Yeah.
Well, we try our best, okay?
But yeah, so I think that's another interesting thing. Like, what isn't talked about enough? I think, Jeff, just you saying Mission Impossible 2 is a gift because I don't think that's mentioned enough, certainly in a positive light. So I love that you did that. And yeah, I think ever since Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation and on, it really found itself. But really, I think JJ's Part 3 is what got it there. There was something sort of like, it's like a reset after the comic book cartoon version that was Part 2. And then you get this really heartfelt, like we're all talking about that moment with Carrie, but there was also the moment with his wife. That's why I put it in the trailer up front. By the way, to everybody watching, that was a gift for you and this crew because after this is over, I will be dinged for copyright. So it will be removed on future viewing. So if you want to see it, I would scrub back right now and watch it because it'll be gone by tomorrow.
Wow.
But yeah. So yeah, I think that's I think those are some of the great things that I think we're bringing up that aren't mentioned as much once you go to Ghost Protocol on. So it's kind of nice to dip back into the bottom 3. And maybe it's funny because no one really brings up 1 all that much. Brian De Palma's first one.
I love the
It's
first
like
one.
a fantastic spy thriller that I keep forgetting. Oh my God, how young does Tom Cruise look? When I put him in this trailer, I was like, oh my God, look at Tom. He's like the hottest he's ever looked in that first movie.
Yeah, that's why I brought up that, that scene that's like, and also the other one that's remember from one when they're in the tunnel and like the helicopter explodes, he like goes flying into the thing.
Yep.
I mean, De Palma's not known as being an action director, so that one has the least action. So I think that's why people don't really bring it up as much. It's very much a spy, like a thriller.
Yeah, which is cool.
European, too.
Yeah, which is great. It's great.
I love
And poor
it.
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what a
Okay,
moment.
like,
I was like,
they're all white. Hey,
I'm like watching it going, is Emilio done in this movie? Oh my God. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Can I mention something about the new movie though? That something that I've seen a lot of spy movies, and I loved what they did without really talking about it so much. But you always have the cyanide, the whole thing that they did in this movie, where you have the tooth, the whole thing that they do. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the movie now, but I love that kind of twist they had on that whole thing. That's it's always the villain, the villain gets captured and they take the cyanide and then that whole thing happens. I love what they did that in the Final Reckoning. That the whole thing, you thought, wow, that was a big twist there. That what are they going to do now if Tom is gone? The whole thing happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. The tooth bites down on the tooth, and
all right, we don't want to give too much away.
Try and tiptoe around the spoilers. That's why.
Right. Well, okay, let's move on to part 3, shall we? Okay, favorite stunt in the series. I mean, how do you pick? There's just so many amazing stunts. Mike, what's your favorite stunt?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the new movie with the planes. It feels unreal. Like, even my wife watching it, she's like, that has to be green screen, right? There's no way to like actually do that with planes. And even me, I'm like, is that real? Like, how do you do that with the planes moving? And I still don't believe it. I still don't fully believe that's completely real. And if it is, that's amazing. So I absolutely love that one. The helicopter stuff, of course, in Fallout's great. And even in Dead Reckoning Part 1, the jump one, the jump with the bike. Incredible. Like, if we didn't see that advertised so much and it was just a surprise, that would have been amazing. Because just to see him, like, with the train and all that. So,
the train was amazing. Hang on.
Jeff loved the screen.
The promotion ruined that stunt.
I know. They showed us a million times before the movie ever came out. I'm like,
every movie you went to see for 2 months, you saw the behind the scenes of this guy driving off of this cliff. And then when the movie comes, you're like, I saw this.
That is true. It's a spectacular stunt that is killed by the over promotion of it. And that's one thing, like, I've been watching a lot of YouTube stuff with Chris and Tom, and they talked about they learned what they did wrong on Dead Reckoning, which was showing that stunt too much. So that's why the airplane and the submarine stuff, it's all just quick clips, and that's it. We're not going to show you how it was done, how it was made. And now, Mike, if you watch, there's actually how they made the biplane stuff. And he literally is hanging on, and you see the straps. Of course, they have to somehow CGI those out. But
so it's not really real. No straps. I wanted completely real.
So they have to take the plane and turn it in a way that it becomes zero gravity. And that's why he temporarily floats between the wings. And that's legit. He's literally caught in a stasis of flotation, and then he's got to catch himself. And I'm like, oh my God, like, just the physics of the team figuring that out. And of course, the wind is hitting your face at 100 and some odd miles an hour. You can't breathe because your mouth is, so you have to tip your head down to like sneak a breath. And I thought, okay, Tom, can you just do a comedy for your next movie? Let's Grossman the movie or something. Like, I'm happy to see some comedy or drama.
He's the modern day Buster Keaton, honestly. Like, for that, I mean, Mike, I'd like to see you go up there with the straps. It's probably scary.
Probably.
And he's got to act too. He's got to remember what he has to do while I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't dangle from a plane at all. So
I don't think I think stuntmen wouldn't do it. I think
crazy.
And Mike wants him to do it no straps, just dangle from the plane.
I want to see the dedication there. This was the last movie.
No parachutes.
Yeah, no parachutes, or it's fake.
Exactly.
Steve, have you mentioned your stunt yet?
No, but I do want to mention Tom's actually 62. I thought he was 63. I think he's turning like in July, I think, something like that, or August. I think in August. But one of my favorite stunts is from Fallout with Henry Cavill. The whole, they get struck by lightning and the whole thing, and Tom has to go. He has to look out and find him out somewhere. Like, where is he? And he has to fly over to him, and then the whole how that character, how evil that character becomes. And if Tom hadn't saved his life because he couldn't breathe. I think he didn't have his oxygen wasn't working at one point, and that whole thing.
They jumped out of the plane.
Yeah. Well, that's a great stunt and really really kind of scary. And Henry Cavill, just knowing him as Superman, the whole thing, just see him that basically Tom Cruise or Ethan Hunt saved his life, and he's not appreciative at all about it. He has no idea what happened. And when they
yeah.
land on the building, he's like, "What's the big deal? Let's go."
No, he actually looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you lost your oxygen." He's like,
"Yeah, I thought,
yeah, I gave it to you." You know, I thought that was really funny because he wouldn't know. He passed out. They're like, and there's a great villain. Like Cavill starts out as an aide to the president, right? And then suddenly he's got an agenda for someone else, and that was nice. Like that. Like if Cavill was our bad guy if that was our in guy, that'd have been pretty spectacular.
Well,
but diving on that a little bit, yeah.
I was going to say Angela Bassett. She's the president now, but she was actually part of the CIA or something like that in that movie.
That's right.
Yeah, she's a different, but she was, she is, well, I'm not to spoil it, but yeah, I liked her character a lot, but especially in the new movie as well.
Jeff, did you have a favorite stunt? Did you say it already? I feel like we're talking a lot, which is great. That's what I wanted the interaction.
Actually, my favorite stunt is from the first movie, and it's when he takes the piece of gum and he blows up the fish tank, the big aquarium.
Yeah.
That was one. So I watched that movie. I was real young. I was like 5 or 6, maybe 7 years old when that movie come out. And I watched it with my parents when it was like the HBO Saturday night movie. And that was a stunt that I just always remembered growing up. Like I didn't quite remember which movie it came from, but I always remembered that stunt because it was just one that always stuck with me.
Oh yeah. It's a spectacular backdrop too, as he's running and it's just the backdrop is nothing but water coming after him. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I gotta say for me, it's just watching him dangle outside the Dubai building, like 100 and something stories up with just like his hands.
That was going to be mine.
Absolutely.
The Burj Khalifa.
A little vertigo. Yeah. Kicking in. I'm like, cause I'm not that keen on, like, I don't mind heights. I can do roller coasters and stand on buildings, but something like that where he just, and you see behind the scenes, he's just swinging like this. He's just hanging from literally like a piano wire, just waiting for action. And then he sets himself by just, it's just incredible. Something like that. And of course, dangling from the airplane in Ghost Protocol or Rogue Nation. I always forget which one he hangs in, but he's hanging on the side of the plane. And he's like, "Benji, open the door." It was the
Rogue
first
Nation?
stunt that was, Rogue Nation.
Ghost Protocol.
No,
it's one of those two. I always forget
Rogue
which one.
Nation, I think. Yeah.
Rogue Nation. Yeah, it's Rogue Nation.
But it was
yeah,
the one
it's
that
on the back
was.
of this.
Ghost
there
Protocol,
you
the
go.
one you're talking about now, when he's hanging on the building, was Ghost Protocol.
Yeah. This is Rogue
Right.
Nation.
Yeah.
Right. And Rogue Nation is the plane. So,
Yep.
he just keeps taking it up. So those are two that I love. And fight scene wise, I mean, I got to say, I was happy to see a great hand-to-hand combat moment in the Final Reckoning when he's on the conveyor belt getting ready to do and then that guy comes in and like attacks him, and he kind of falls on the treadmill, but then gets up and dude, hand to hand they go at it, and I'm like, God, Tom is 62, and what I loved is it wasn't typical. I can't stand American action. It's just quick cuts, close-ups, rapid editing. I'm like, oh, this is what I hate the most about fight scenes. And that's why the fight scene with Cavill when he jacks his guns, ready to go, locked and loaded. I mean, you see a lot of punches before you edit. And this scene was a little bit like that as well. Even though it was close quarters, you really saw some moves. And I appreciate that about this franchise, is not wasting the talent of a stuntman, including Tom, during a fight scene.
Yeah.
Tom feels the same way. Yeah.
For me, it was. I agree with you, Hugs. I just specifically remember 2011. Went to IMAX opening day. Very excited before Ghost Protocol. They had that 8-minute Dark Knight Rises prologue scene. So like they showed the whole plane scene with Bane at the beginning of Dark Knight Rises before Mission Impossible. So I was like, oh my God, I got to see that movie. But it didn't come out for another like 7 months. So like I was kind of in the mindset already for like, I was excited. And then that scene in IMAX is literally, if you're scared of heights, it was like one of the scariest things ever because the way it's shot. And then the glove, and it's like losing the magnetic, thing. And I feel like that's where it started. Like there's stunts and action in all of them, but 4 is where they started doing like, okay, we went on this building. Now we got to dangle from a plane. Now we got to fly a plane. Now we got to, they kept going bigger and bigger. So I kind of like that.
Get on a train.
Yeah, exactly. So I would go with that one too. Like it's super memorable stunt. And he did it. I remember the behind the scenes, same thing. He was like sitting up there, like just chilling out. I'm like, dude, I'd be so scared. He's like, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. And it's so fun to watch them talk about how the stunt was supposed to be like, we just have to take one window out. And the building's like, okay, well, but once he goes out that building, it's going to be, he can't get to, so we need to take 3 more windows out because he has to do this stunt and this stunt. And they're like, but they get it. They get what they asked for once they're there,
Yeah. Yep. Tom convinced them.
Tom, that's right. It's like it's Tom. I mean, it makes you wonder too, like, look at all the hardware they got on this. I mean, they've got carriers and these jets. I don't even know what you call them with the wings, the massive propellers that can hover. Like, only Tom and crew could like negotiate using those on screen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, those were amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He got
a lot of award for stunts. Yes, he is.
It happened, yeah. Because this year they're supposed to have the stunt category in the Oscars.
Fish says, holy balls, went back and watched the beginning extra. I was like, badass intro. I'm telling you, y'all, if you want to see the badass intro, you can always catch back up to us. But once it's over, it's going to be gone. So if you want to see something awesome, go check it out. Fish be digging some Rogue Nation. I agree. I hate quick cuts. Let me see that ass whooping. Look, Jackie Chan don't stand for it. Neither do I. And there's a reason why he's so good. He says, no, lock down the camera. Watch us do our thing. Right. Learn from that guy. All right, y'all. Let's just keep pushing forward. I think we're going to find out what you guys love. Your favorite movie in the franchise. Who hasn't gone first yet? Nate, I don't think you've gone first yet.
Yeah, so I know that someone already said, so I will say 3 is the first one I saw at a theater, so it has a special place in my heart because that's the first one. But you know what? I'll let Mike have it because I think he said that was his. I also really, really love Rogue Nation. I do. Something about it Rebecca Ferguson's first movie, great stunts, a really good villain. It feels like a lot of the best stuff from those first 4 movies, like all in one. And I know Fallout's super popular with people. I prefer Rogue Nation to it, just a hair, but so I'll go with that one. I think that's kind of like the sleeper movie. Like, it's pretty rare that you hear someone say Rogue Nation's their favorite, but 3 is a sentimental pick, but I'll go with 5. I actually really like that film.
I mean, it's a great pick. You can't go wrong. I think, they all hit you a certain way, so there's no right or wrong. And
it has that motorcycle chase scene. It's awesome. Like, the action is really good. So, Rogue Nation for me.
Nice. All right, let's go. Steve Areno.
Oh, my number 1 is Fallout. It's in my ranking. Rogue Nation's number 2, and part 3 is number 3. But I really like the villain, Sean Harris, Solomon Lane. He's in this, and he's in the next movie as well. At least the beginning of it there. But I like that villain. I thought he's terrifying. I think isn't that the one that's I think it's the one that starts off where Tom is he's in at the music store and he gets stuck passes out with the smoke, and the woman that's in the music store gets stabbed by Sean Harris's character, and I thought this is really terrifying. And then all of a sudden Ethan wakes up somewhere else. This always happens to him. Like somehow they never kill Ethan. They like in Bond movies, they never kill him. He just wakes up somewhere and he's handcuffed somewhere, or they have to keep him alive for some reason. He's deadly. He's gonna take care of the villain by the end of the movie. But Fallout's my favorite though, because of Henry Cavill. I think is a great addition to the movie. I like obviously Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg. So for me, this is my favorite in the franchise.
I mean, fantastic pick. I echo a lot of the things you're saying about that film. I think it does have fantastic emotional moments at the end. When Tom realizes this is kind of it, like, we are done. And by the way, everybody, if you haven't seen the other Mission Impossible movies, okay, go back and watch them. We're not spoiling anything. They've been out for 30 years, this franchise. Come on. But yeah, I mean, that scene at the end when Luther's trying to disarm the bomb and his wife is there with him. It's just this moment of, this is it. This is kind of like it. But you know, it's up to Hunt. If he gets the trigger, they can clip the wires, and you got Benji and Ilsa with the bad guy who's hanging Benji. And honestly, I thought that was the end of him. And I was like, you know, shedding a tear. I'm like, oh man, because I love Simon Pegg. So I think there's a lot of emotional heft in that film. And then Cavill is such a fantastic foil for Cruise, chasing each other in airplanes, you know, whooping each other's ass on the edge of the cliff. Yeah, I think it's just a great pick.
Yep.
Mike, how about you?
Yeah, so 3 by far. It has the best everything: best villain, best wife moments, best ending action, best intro, best pacing, best unique visual style. Just everything's the best of number 3. So number 3 by far. But if I was going to rank all of them right now, I'm going to go 3, 6, 5, 4, 8, 7, 2, 1. There you go.
One, really? One's left?
Well, someone for my end of the stream challenge, Mike.
There you go. I mean, one had release action, though. So
also, best wife moments is an incredible measuring scale. I
there
love that. Out of all of them, best wife, only wife moment. Well, no, 2 of them have wife moments, but
you know,
I like that.
It's romantic. You gotta.
I'm with you. I was waiting for these 2 to kiss the whole movie, and it never happens.
So I'm very upset.
I'm mad. Come on.
Yeah. Jeff, what you got? What's your fave, man?
I'm
and everybody in the audience too. Like flood us in the audience. Let us know what your favorite is as well. Sorry, Jeff.
I'm gonna go with the original because there's so much action in all of the sequels that I get confused as to what happens in some of them. But the first one is so grounded and the story is just complete from beginning to end that you don't get confused. You know exactly what's going on. You know who the villain is, and the twists that happen in it all make sense. So like, I never forget when they did the flashbacks in the newest one of all the different movies. I smiled the most when they did the flashbacks to part 1 because I remembered them and they stuck with me the most. It wasn't just big explosions. It was actual like character building moments and all realistic stunts. And to me, like that was more of like the spy espionage movie and less of the Tom Cruise action franchise. Yeah. Not that I have any issue with it. Obviously, we've got 7 more movies because that's what everybody loves about it. But I always know a scene comes straight from that one, not because of how Tom looks, but because of how the scene looks and how the scene feels. I get kind of confused with 3, 4, 5, and 6 as to what action scene came from which one.
Yeah.
But they're all good. So I don't think
Never
there's really a
happened to
wrong
me.
answer, but my favorite and the one I smile at the most with flashbacks is part 1.
Best poster too. Part 1 has the best poster out of all the.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love your choice too because it is a great spy thriller. You know, more in line with like Bond, like a good gritty Bond movie, just driven by that sort of spy espionage. You know, stuff with good stunts. It still had great stunts, even though De Palma's not known for that. It still had very memorable stunt moments, even though, you know, the blue screen where and it blows up and he catches the thing at the end, and then the blade stops right in his throat. You know?
That's awesome.
Classic Mission Impossible moment.
Yeah, some of the CGI in the first one's a little bit strange there with the helicopter and all that stuff. But Brian De Palma, I've got a number 5. I'm a huge Brian De Palma. That's actually the last. That's actually the last Brian De Palma film I've ever seen. I've never seen like Snake Eyes or anything after that.
What?
That was like the last, the newest one I've seen of any of his films. So I should definitely check out more of them. But I own like 10 of his films, and I like him as a director quite a bit. But yeah, Jim Phelps. I mean, John Voight. I thought he was a great villain in that first one. But I've got it number 5 on my list because I have to put Brian De Palma in my top 5.
Yeah, but you know, it sets a nice tone too. I love the mask stuff, the whole, you know, that kitschy little thing with the mask. I love that is a thing that you want and expect to see in every movie. You know, it's sort of like Bond saying Bond, James Bond. Like you got to see the mask at least once in every movie, or feel like you're not watching, you know, a Mission Impossible movie. And when they use it, it can be quite funny, or it can be quite, you know, like tense. You know, like you get caught.
Well, like one of the funniest moments in the whole series is when Simon Pegg he finally gets to wear the mask. He's like, you mean I'll get to wear the mask?
Yeah.
when they were going over like the upcoming mission. He was so excited because he had already what was that? That was Fallout, right? So that was like the third movie he was in before he finally got to wear the mask on a mission, and his character was just so excited about it.
But to Mike's point, the best mask scene, part 3 for sure. When you do the Philip Seymour Hoffman mask.
Oh yeah.
The best, the best one. So best wife moment, best mask moment, for sure.
I mean, let's set the bar, people.
I like his mask in Dead Reckoning Part 1 when he goes into the meeting briefing
room.
Yeah,
he had 2 masks on that.
Yeah. I looked
at
it
a
up.
mask in and a mask to get out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he plays Kittredge. He has to put that mask to get out. But I looked it up. The movie Face Off actually came out the year after the first Mission Impossible movie in 1997. So they stole that whole idea with the mask and everything, or the faces. I guess they're switching faces, which has never made any sense. But with the mask, you can put on a mask and he looks just like the person he's into.
Yeah, forget the body type. The wife would never notice that the body type of Nick Cage is not the same as
right. John Travolta, yeah, right.
Okay, so you guys have hit on the ones I would pick as well. It's really, for me, it comes down to these two. It's Part 3 and Fallout. I think these are sort of almost a neck and neck with me for all the same reasons. Hit the wife moment, the mask moment, the villain moment. I mean, Part 3 really, the reason I might even nudge this up to the top just a little bit is because of that Kerry Russell moment, which is I was excited to see her and you took her. And I was like, oh, I don't know where this movie is, because it really kept you guessing. And the emotional moments, because he's dealing with the wife, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, absolutely, like you guys said, hands down, best villain in the entire franchise. I don't think you can argue that. Whereas I would say Fallout has the second best villain, which is Cavill. So, yeah. And I don't need to expand on them because you all talk so well about them. So, Nate, you look like you got something you're ready to say.
I was just looking to make sure, and it is true. Yeah. So, Mission Impossible 3. J.J. Abrams' feature film debut. That was the first movie he directed, because I used to love the show Alias. So when I heard he was doing the movie, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the theater to see this, even though, I was not like even crazy with the first 2 at the time. But yeah, I mean, 3, and it has the best opening. Like, you know how the Bond movies always have like a cold open? That one kind of does with the flash forward of the Philip Seymour Hoffman like part, and you're like, what is going on? They just drop you right in, and then it's told like it goes backwards. So yeah, I mean, say what you want about J.J. Abrams, and if you like his movies or don't, I feel like that is like kind of his best work in the sense of it's not very divisive. It's like just a good spy action movie, honestly.
Like I kind of wish he'd do something like that again.
Yeah,
I feel like
I agree.
He's gotten to be such a spectacle director that I wish he would just go look at this film, because you're right. Like, it's so pitch perfect. The pace, the length, the acting, the story. It's just so well done. And without being too much, like we all said, we kind of, I often mix the stunts from Protocol and Rogue Nation every time. Like when he hits the car and flies off, wait, that was Fallout.
Right.
So. But they are good stunts. But yeah, I think because Chris McQuarrie did them all. So,
yep.
But I do love this. Haas says, who wins in a fight, Ethan Hunt, Jack Reacher, or Vincent from Collateral? I feel like Vincent from Collateral's known for guns too much. So if he doesn't have a gun, I think Jack Reacher and Ethan Hunt could take him out. And I think Jack and Ethan fight similarly. I would say if it was, the Reacher in the TV show,
Alan Reacher,
I think he would win.
Yes,
he's
I
so
agree.
Big.
Right.
But otherwise, I guess Ethan Hunt, I think, has a few more tricks up his sleeve.
If we're going like the characters on the page, because that's based off a book.
No,
I think Jack Reacher. Now we're going Tom Cruise versus Tom Cruise versus Tom Cruise,
because that's his thing. That's what he's asking. It's Tom.
I think
Cruise.
Ethan Hunt
Tom
wins. Yeah, I think Ethan Hunt wins out of those 3 Tom Cruise versions. Yeah.
Anybody disagree? Mike, you think it's Collateral?
Ethan Hunt. He does the impossible. Simple as that.
Right.
Exactly. Oh, it gave us. Wait, MI3 gave us that Drew. What is that?
The intro scene that you don't expect.
To scream, yeah.
You're like, oh shoot, someone died, and then you don't even know. Yeah, so I agree. Great show. Alias was great.
Nice. Yeah, Alias was fantastic. Love that. All right, y'all. Well, we are at our final mission, and we have accepted it. It is a non-Mission Impossible Tom Cruise movie that you want to share with the audience. Audience, you share it with us as well. If there's a non-mission movie you want us to enjoy, and we'll just go around the horn this time, starting with Steve.
Oh, God, I got to go. I don't think anybody's going to pick this one, but I think this movie's really overlooked. It's Oblivion.
Oh, man.
Oblivion? Oh, did I steal yours? Oh,
I had other ones too, but I had it here.
Well, thank God I went first.
Yeah, I was right there ready to go.
Oblivion. I love that with the Morgan Freeman. I love the tagline at the end of the movie. F you, Sally, or whatever. No one ever says that, the whole thing. But yeah, I'm sorry. I had to get this one. I thought if somebody else had taken it, I would do like really common ones like that. You know, some of the others. I don't want to mention them, but yeah. Oblivion. I'm glad I got that in before anybody else could. Mike.
No, I think Oblivion's a very underrated and very rarely talked about Tom Cruise movie that came around. I think it came out just before Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. I think it was the year before or the movie before, and it had some striking moments in it that were quite good. And and I think that unfortunately this was coming right off of his couch attack. When he jumped on the couch.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why Oblivion and Edge of Tomorrow were it was still him just trying to recover from all that, especially Oblivion. But
Oblivion was the first time he teamed up with Joseph Kosinski. He directed that right after
Fucking
Tron Legacy. So like I like that, and the score is awesome. It's like M83 does the music for it. They're like not Daft Punk, but Kosinski was like kind of doing that thing again. But it's a really cool movie. It has a cool premise, great visuals. I like that movie. It wasn't my main choice, Steve, so you didn't steal it. It was my backup choice in case someone takes my other one, because then I'll be in trouble.
That's what I was going to do too. Same. Same.
Right.
All right, Mike, what's yours?
Do it.
Buddy? What's yours? Let's see who's you're stealing.
You want the truth? Well, you can't handle the truth. A Few Good Men. You gotta go with a good drama. You gotta go with a good courtroom drama. I think this is Tom Cruise's best acting in this movie. Yes, in the other movies, he's great with the action and the stunts, and he can be a really fun character. But you feel his seriousness in this movie with all the drama, the dialogue back and forth with Jack Nicholson. So, yeah, I think it's an excellent movie. It's actually my favorite courtroom drama movie. So you got Demi Moore in there, too. Like, come on, like that's an all-star cast, just them three. So, yeah, I really like this one. Highly recommend checking it out. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys got to say about A Few Good Men?
Oh, I think it's a fantastic pick. It was when I did my favorite 100 movies of all time. I did a drama section, and it was, I think, probably right up there as one of my favorite dramas of all time. I could watch that courtroom scene infinitely. It's just so compelling. The two of them, Tom, I swear, as good as Nicholson is, it's because Tom holds him. Like it's like when he works in Rain Man, he's right there. He holds his own, and he keeps that other actor looking great as well, which makes him look great. I mean, such a good pick.
I think Rob Reiner directed it too, so it's like you got an actor directing actors. The acting is phenomenal in that movie.
Absolutely. Kevin Bacon, man, and Kiefer Sutherland, little cameos.
I'm about to throw that on after this. A Few Good Men.
Let's go. Jeff. Wow, man.
I'm gonna go with Minority Report. I absolutely love that movie. It badly needs a physical media upgrade. The Blu-ray is not that good. It's one of them earlier ones. But it's such a spectacle of a movie. I remember seeing it in the theater and just thought the aesthetic of it was so beautiful. And it's just one of those, like, it's got all the right action, but it's got great amounts of sci-fi as well. I always remember that one coming out, and then a couple years later, iRobot coming out, and I always just, every time I sit down and try to watch iRobot, I just wanted to watch Minority Report instead.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of my favorite newer age Tom Cruise movies anyways. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, Minority Report's terrific. Spielberg, man. Like him and Tom getting together, they made magic.
War of the Worlds also. They did that one too.
Yeah, another good one.
All right.
Nate.
Okay, favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna pick one that's really, really underrated. That no one ever talks about this movie. Okay,
What?
no one. It's a movie called Valkyrie.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, there he is. Tom Cruise, right there in the front. This is
Eye patch.
yes, about the plot to kill Hitler. This is based on a true story. This does the thing from what's the movie? Hunt for Red October, where they're like speaking German, but then it does that thing where like it starts in German, and then all of a sudden they just kind of start speaking English. So you know the whole
Yeah.
movie they're speaking German, but they're like, look, Tom not gonna do German accent. He'll just speak English. It works. I feel like if you're gonna do that, that's like the best way to do it. So this movie is it's really good. I mean, Tom Wilkinson is in it. Bill Nighy is in it. Another one with like a really good cast. I don't really hear people talking about it. I don't think it's like an amazing movie, but I think it's really good and kind of a hidden gem in like Tom Cruise's filmography. So I'll go with Valkyrie.
I haven't seen any of these movies, by the way. Oblivion, Minority Report, Valkyrie. I need to see these all.
You've never seen Minority Report?
Now, yeah, I get you haven't seen Valkyrie because that's not high on people's list. But the other two you should have seen, Mike. Put them on your list.
I know. I did a Tom Cruise recommendation stream and still haven't seen it.
What'd you pick? Vanilla Sky?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god. Oh
It's a
man.
weird movie, but it's Cameron Crowe's kind of the downfall. Cameron Crowe, but it's an odd movie. I really liked his first 5 films.
Wow.
All right, Huck, Vanilla
All right,
Sky.
that's a ringer. Yeah, Vanilla Sky. All right, so great picks. You've all picked many of the ones I could have picked. Now, although I love this film, I'm not going to pick Legend because for me, that's Tim Curry's movie. When I see that movie, like I like Tom in it, but Tim is why I watch that movie. Like every second he's on that, like I can't. It's hard to even see Tom because he's that good. And then the other one, I enjoy Edge of Tomorrow, but I think it does get a lot of love and people talk about it. So I'm going to let that one sit on its own accord. And I'm going to go with something that I thought was a little against type for Tom. And we are going to do Collateral. I thought this was freaking blew me away. Like, he's this assassin and he gets in a cab and, Jamie Foxx is the cab driver and he takes him from hit to hit and Fox starts to catch on what's going on. And I mean Tom, he's got the gray hair and sort of the flat top and he's just cold, man. Like I haven't seen Tom do something like this like ever. And I love that he went there with this because he could have been the cab driver, or this could have been entirely a different actor in this role. But I thought Collateral, I think, is something I do feel like people, when you bring up Collateral, they all kind of collectively go, "Oh yeah, Collateral, man," because you do remember that it's a role you don't expect him to take. Michael Mann's the director, so it's got that kind of gritty Heat, Miami Vice, Michael Mann juice in it that makes it so good. So I'm going with that, man. Collateral.
Michael Mann, digital photography, mid 2000s. LA's a character in that movie. I love that movie. He's great. He's great in it. Jamie Foxx is good in it. Michael Mann directs the hell out of that movie. And I was just looking through Tom Cruise's filmography. He got so many movies that no one, like he worked with Scorsese. He's worked with like all these amazing directors. Like Color of Money is a good movie. I mean, it's a sequel to The Hustler, which people never, that's a great movie too. Or Interview with the Vampire or Rain Man or like, there's all these movies that he
Tropic
did.
Thunder.
I love him in Tropic
Thunder.
Thunder. Yeah. I feel like that's like a hidden cameo more than like a
that's a cameo.
But
he's apparently doing a spin-off movie.
It's like Austin Powers.
Get on that. Exactly. Yeah, it's like a cameo, but it's like one of the greatest cameos of all time. But he does have a very diverse filmography. As he got older, he became known for like action movies, but that wasn't really always his MO. So, and Magnolia, that's another one where he is acting as.
Yeah, I was just going, oh my God, his role in Magnolia was off the chart.
Yeah.
I watched that. I watched those scenes. I was like, wow, he is not a likable person.
No,
I was kind of shocked.
kinda
I thought that was going to be his Oscar. since he lost
Same.
it twice with Jerry Maguire and Born on the 4th of July. Two other great movies we didn't bring up yet.
Yeah.
Love Jerry Maguire. That
Kevin
movie's
Gross.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was great. Just shows you he can do comedy, drama. I'll tell you guys something I just watched because it's part of my 52-week challenge. While I was going to let Mission Impossible be the Tom Cruise movie of the week, I went ahead, I was in Tom Cruise mode. So I watched another one. I watched Rock of Ages. Has anyone seen Rock of Ages?
The musical?
Yes, because I've seen every Tom movie, and this is one I hadn't seen. And I was trying to watch some I haven't seen. And, Tom always pushes himself to do the best. I'm like, I want to see if he can sing. And I'll be damned if he could sing. He sang pretty good. He was up on the stage singing like rock and roll Bon Jovi kind of tunes. It's a very interesting movie because it's a musical, but it's all 80s hits like Journey, Twisted Sister, Chris, all those things. They sing those songs as though it's the sound, sort of like Mamma Mia, how Mamma Mia uses ABBA's songs as the soundtrack of the film.
Not original music.
Yeah. So like in the movie, this guy goes, I wrote a song for you here. And it's like, don't stop believing. And it's like, oh, funny. He wrote the Journey song, so you have to sort of like embrace sort of the insanity of that theme. And it was actually kind of fun. It's ludicrous though. It's over the top. Paul Giamatti is this crazy manager. He's got Tom Cruise as a baboon as a sidekick that mixes drinks for him. Yeah, exactly, Nate. It's as crazy as
Whoa, little Michael Jackson in there. Someone in the chat said American Made, and that's also an amazing movie. Super underrated. Barely anyone watched it. It's great.
Not the Mummy, the Mummy remake or whatever.
Oh gosh, that movie.
I think Mike likes it. I feel like Mike, you would like the Mummy. I'm surprised you don't like it.
Terrible.
It's free and
The
entry.
Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, those are masterpieces.
Yes.
Hey, come on. I like quality, Nate. Quality. You need strong writing. Okay?
Quality.
Like Craven the Hunter. Right?
Shazam too.
Craven the Hunter.
Craven
Really?
the Hunter.
Come on, cinema, people. Cinema. Let's be real.
Classy movies are.
Oh, The Firm. The
always
Firm is
keep it
really
classy.
good.
The
Life
Firm.
is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to do a Tom Cruise month. I mean, you could fill it like a whole month, one a day.
Oh,
with
yeah.
great movies all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And the
He's
Mummy.
He said
He
he's
has a
done about
stellar
52 movies.
filmography.
Yeah,
I
he's done
think
like 52 movies.
I want to say of like every actor and director, I have the most Tom Cruise movies than any
The
other.
Outsiders.
Yeah,
Risky
Outsiders.
Business. Top Gun.
Risky
One.
Business.
And
Cocktail.
dude,
Not that
that's
great. But
still, Risky Business still holds up very well. I watched it last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Man, and I watched that one. I watched the Criterion. It looked fantastic.
Far
So
and
good.
Away. Right? Isn't that what's this guy's name? Ron Howard?
Ron Howard. Yeah, look, he worked
Yeah.
with Ron Howard. Far and Away.
Stanley
Eyes
He was
Wide
in a
Shut.
Stanley Kubrick movie. He's worked with like
Eyes-
some of the best directors.
Yeah, Eyes
The
Wide Shut.
Outsiders. Yeah, The Outsiders and Taps. Remember Taps with Sean Penn?
Yep.
That was really early.
Hey,
Fish.
Shazam 2 is a great superhero movie. But it's indisputable. Shazam 2 is a great superhero movie. If you're
Yeah,
going
it
off
is
the
good.
superhero genre, it's a great one.
Indisputable.
He's a Thunder.
You
like
can't
that.
tell me one negative about Shazam 2 if you're looking at a superhero family genre.
False.
I didn't hate it.
Excellent
I'm kind of with
visuals, excellent acting, excellent emotion and character development, excellent
Great
music,
product
great soundtrack.
placement. Skittles.
Hey, exactly. Excellent
Skittles
product
was great.
placement. Correct.
Exactly.
Everything was perfect.
You know what?
See,
And not to get sidetracked, I didn't hate that movie until you liked it so much, and now it made me
Now
like
I
it.
Here, boy, come on now.
I thought it was okay, and then you liked it so
Yeah.
much that now I think I don't like it.
Come on. It's
I
like
gotta
the
read-
modern day
I gotta
age
read-
Howard the Duck, right? Like indisputable.
I don't like that movie.
Another
that one's
classic.
different, but
I
I
don't
gotta
think you
rewatch.
understand the meaning of this word indisputable. All
I
right,
stand
guys.
by. Stand
Well,
by
this is-
Shazam 2.
This has been fun. I would just say any other last minute Tom Cruise memories or how about this? What would you like to see? Do you want to see Mission Impossible end with the final reckoning, or would you like to maybe have one more comeback but ground it something a little bit more earthy, crunchy, like Mission 3, Fallout, stuff like that, even the first
Tom
one?
Cruise for Shazam 3.
Does it?
Villain in
Tom
Shazam
Cruise
3.
for
let's
Shazam
go.
3? Is he
There
the
we go.
villain?
Yes. with his team.
What do you think?
Cyborg Cavill and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Let's go.
He's dead.
Bring him back.
He picked the dead people.
CGI, okay? CGI.
As far as Tom Cruise, are you saying like what would you like to see next from him, just in general?
Yeah, either next from him or the franchise. Do you want to see
Okay.
Mission continue? And other than that, what kind of movie would you like to see Tom make next?
Okay, I would like to see. I'd be okay with them making another Mission Impossible movie, but I would love to see them dial it back. Like, I do not do another $400 million budget, crazy 3-hour thing. Like, kind of let's go back to where it started. The first 1 and 3, I feel like that range, anywhere in that, a little, it still be action, but a little more spy, a little more thriller. However, if they don't make another one, I'd also be okay with that. As far as Tom, I want to see him do more sci-fi. I love him in sci-fi movies because I love Oblivion. I love Minority Report. I don't love, but I like War of the Worlds. Like, I'd love to see him do another kind of something different because all he's done lately is like Jack Reacher and Mission Impossible, I feel like, and that horrible Mummy movie. So I don't want him to do another big franchise thing, like just like a one-off good movie.
Love that.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, so I read something about Tom Cruise says that he probably wouldn't do another Mission Impossible unless Glenn Powell takes over the character, and I don't know how it would work. I don't think that would work necessarily. Even though I like Glenn Powell, I don't think I'd want to see anybody other than Ethan Hunt and Tom Cruise play that character in the franchise. Comedies. I don't know. He can do some comedy, but I don't know if I'd really want to see him do a comedy. But like Nate said, maybe like science fiction would be pretty cool. I don't know what other genres. I wouldn't want to see like westerns or anything like that. To see Tom Cruise do a western, but he's like these Mission Impossible movies. He's basically he's a producer. So I guess for all the movies, and I guess that's the reason why he can do all the stunts, because usually you wouldn't let an actor do that kind of stuff, because if you kill off the lead actor, then or by accident, then the franchise is over. So yeah, maybe science fiction would be probably the best way to go next.
Jeff, how about you?
So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be upset if they did another one, but I would actually like it if a franchise that used the word final actually left it as final. That would be kind of nice. And for Tom, like, I'd actually like to see him do comedy. There's been, he was just did that interview where he said that he was thinking about doing a solo movie for that executive producer role that he played in Tropic Thunder, because some people don't know it, but he actually had full creative control over that character for that movie. When him and Ben Stiller sat down, Ben Stiller had that character a lot more grounded and not nearly as goofy and as many punchlines as he had. And Tom said, well, I want to kind of go all out with this. I want to do the bald cap. I want to be hilarious. He said, I want to wear the stomach and the works. And now he's talking about doing like a solo character type of like one-off movie. And I'd like that because it'd be something just a little bit different. It wouldn't be necessarily here's Tom Cruise starting a franchise at 65. It'd be here's Tom Cruise now doing one-off comedies and one-off sci-fis and stuff like that. I'd like to see him just kind of do whatever now. He's not really tied to anything or bound to anything. And he's already proved that he can do pretty much any genre.
Right.
I agree with that. Mike?
Yeah, keep doing more Mission Impossible. Run the franchise into the ground. Reason why? No, because it's a very consistent quality franchise. Even that first movie is still pretty darn good. So you got at least another 4 or 5 movies in there before it sucks. So let's keep going. That's what I would do. Now, if you're not going to do that, let's do something really just novel and exciting. Superhero movie. Let's go. Tom Cruise needs to be a superhero. I'm not too impressed with the new actor for Superman. So when that franchise dies, Tom Cruise comes in as the new Superman. We got de-aging. We can do all the de-aging stuff.
Good Lord, Mike.
That's a movie for you right there.
Try to keep it real, and Mike's putting a 70-year-old Tom Cruise as Superman.
Come on, he can still do
all
all
But you know what?
that.
If anybody can actually learn to fly, it would be Tom Cruise.
Exactly. See, you said about the wires and everything. Come on now. Now you're saying it's too much for him.
I just went to his IMDb page, and the 3 movies that he has like in pre-production all sound kind of awesome. So just do those. I kind of like where he's going. 2 of them are with Christopher McQuarrie, and one of them is with Iñárritu, who someone in the chat said. And all 3 sound. One is like a mob movie, one is like a war movie, and one sounds like something crazy that I don't even know what genre that is. So I like it. I like what he's doing. Leave Mission Impossible alone. Just do those things.
Movie would be interesting.
Yes.
Do a bunch of one-offs.
Yes.
So I will say that, yeah, he is rumored to be doing the Live, Die, Repeat, a sequel to that. Because we love him in sci-fi. I'd love to see that. I thought that was a phenomenal film, especially if you can get Emily Blunt to come back for that. That was great. But boy, yeah, if you could put him in a crime, like a thing, that sounds great.
Yeah, one of these movies sounds like a mob movie almost.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down with that. And look, so here's the thing about the Les Grossman thing, though. I think that character is a phenomenal side character that the reason he works is because it's in little doses. As the lead, if that character were the lead of a film, I think you would grow tired of that pretty quick. That's why I think
we can
he
bring
works
back the 80-minute movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if he was the agent and somebody else was the star that he's trying to make a star, sort of like, let's make Glenn Powell that guy. Glenn Powell comes in, he's trying to make him a star. It sort of reminds me of Rock of Ages, right? So Paul Giamatti is the agent, whereas Tom's sort of I feel like Tom would be that agent now. So yeah. I'd almost like to see a short. I think it would be funny to watch him do like a short and entertain people with that because he's got enough money. I think he could just make a freebie for us. The SpaceX project kind of freaks me out because I don't want Tom and an entire crew going up into space and something goes wrong.
He's gonna do it.
Like I get it. I love when he wants to go, and you've got to have a crew that's all like, what do? Do you fly up there and you stay in the space station overnight because you got, you can't just keep flying every day back and forth, back and forth. I mean, that's
dude, he's landing on the moon. I know it.
Yeah, the amount of money
on the moon.
The amount of money spent sending them up into space. Hopefully, it's just for a scene. To do the entire film, please don't. Like, I love Tom. That's why I don't want him to go. But if he did, it's going to be awesome. I'm like, hey, Tom, did you see Gravity? They were on Earth. They never went into space, and it looked really good.
He's gonna say, I did it for real.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No faking it. We're going to
all right, let's just pop in and see. Oh, yeah. And by the way, you guys mentioned War of the Worlds. That's another one I had on standby. I love that movie. I think that's another nail biter, man. When the people just were turned to dust like that, I was like, oh, man. Yeah, Spielberg and Tom. I thought they're a golden goose, man. I love to see them do something else again.
For sure.
It's a great remake, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal, and because that remake is stupendous. Yeah. Fish wants it to be done. Let it be done, he says.
It's over.
Haas also wants to see like War of the Worlds or something dramatic. It'd be great to see him do like a Few Good Men kind of thing, or even if this is a mob boss kind of movie. Man, let's get Tom that Oscar. That's what I want, and not for stunts, for God's sake. I want him to get it for acting.
Real Oscar.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Maybe an honorary. I don't know. Yeah.
There you go. I know he may, and that may be how he has to get it. Yeah, wants to do another thriller. Fish would love to see that, like Collateral. That'd be great. See, that's the thing. Says Tom Cruise, Iron Man versus Downey. There was rumor that in the multiverse, Tom was going to show up and I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. As if Downey is Doom, and then Iron Man shows up, and you're like, oh, here comes another Robert Downey face, and freaking Tom's face comes out of the mask. I'm like, oh, let's go.
People will be throwing popcorn like Minecraft all over the place.
Yeah, in the Iron Man bucket head,
Yeah. Wasn't he Austin Powers and Goldmember in the
the intro?
Yeah.
Like Haas says, 10 minutes of Les Grossman, like Tom.
Agreed.
Yeah, like Tom Thomas Jane did the little Dirty Laundry Punisher movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we've done it. We've waxed on about Mission Impossible. How you guys feel? Good stuff?
It was fun.
Mission accomplished.
Good. We did
Mission accomplished, y'all. Thank you so much. This was a good time. Thanks to everybody in the chats over there that kept everything moving along. But to wrap this out, we're just going to go around and let everybody pimp out their channel, starting with Steve. Pimp away, sir.
Yeah, so like I said, last night I released it early. I did my Mission Impossible ranking, 1 through 8. So that was a lot of fun. I kind of spoiled my number 1 already, but that was a lot of fun. I had to get that out now because everybody's doing their videos this past weekend. So, but yeah, it's on Excelsior Movie Reviews. Like I said, Instagram, Letterboxd. Been a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man, that sounds fun, y'all. I'm gonna put everybody's link in the description below so you can go check those goodies out. Mike.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, live stream Boutique Battle Bash playoff. So we have Scream Factory versus Synapse. So definitely join the stream, root for your favorite side. We'll see who is the best boutique label in the physical media world. So that's super exciting. Also, next week, I got a Split the Room game stream coming up. We're going to do originals versus remakes. So I need a couple more participants for that. So if you want to hit me up on Instagram, you want to join a live stream and have fun, let me know. But there we go. That's it from me. Keep it classy. Watch Shazam too.
There you go. Mike has one word for the audience. Check out Shazam 2. Nate.
Yes.
Shazam.
Yes. Glad to be here, Huck. Guys, love talking these movies with you. Geeks and Flicks is the YouTube channel. We just did a live ranking of all 13 Star Trek movies, so you can go back and watch that. That's up now. You can follow me on Instagram, Nate Flicks Reviews. I'll be on that channel. I'll be on Mike's channel tomorrow. I forgot that stream was even happening, so I will be there 5th day in a row doing either a stream or recording something. So, yeah, thanks for being here and thanks for participating in the chat. It was great.
Good stuff, Jeff.
I'm John Doe Juggalo on all of the social medias and stuff. I've been doing lots of recordings this week. I've got lots of video game stuff going on right now. I'm on Mike's channel as well tomorrow night with Nate. I believe I'm a judge along with Nate, so we get to put people through the grinder a bit. And like I said, besides that, it's just a whole bunch of video game stuff going on, new Nintendo stuff coming out. So I'm just being a kid again with my kids right now. So
nice.
Dude, that sounds fun. All right, y'all. Hugs Pop Culture Cafe. I'm on all the socials. You got your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook that no one ever goes to, which is kind of hilarious. Facebook popped up today and said, I have negative 100 comments. I'm like, how do you have negative comments? Which I love. I'm like, I can only go up from there. So every Tuesday morning we do the Morning Mug, where we talk about movie news, box office, new releases, and all that good stuff. Also, every week I try to get out and see movies in the theater, and I give you reviews on that. But a lot of fun that I know several of you guys are taking is the 52-week movie challenge. And this week was a Tom Cruise movie. And I did that on purpose so everyone could use Mission Impossible as their Tom movie. But next week, if you want to play along, this is it's kind of a weird one. It's simply a movie in your collection that you still have wrapped, that you haven't opened, because we're all guilty of it. But if you don't collect movies and you don't have physical media, it's a free-for-all week for you. You get to just pick any movie you want to watch. So that's how that goes, y'all. So that's what's coming up. So, but yeah, I want to thank everybody again for being here. It was a fun night. If you haven't checked out Mission Impossible, go see it. Go watch all the Mission Impossibles and see which one is your favorite. But that's going to do it for tonight, y'all. Have a good time.
Yeah, right.
This stream will now self-destruct in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa.